there, it's Lucille from Old Stables Crafts again. Welcome back and thank you for hitting play. This is the card that I have already made, and this uses the mixed drinks stamp set. This is in the annual catalogue, and it was one of the very first stamp sets I bought from the annual catalogue. In fact, I think it was in my starter kit, because I signed up with Stampin' Up just after the annual catalogue had gone live. And I thought this was a really fun set, and I have used it quite a lot. I used it in mostly last summer because I think it is predominantly a summer stamp set, because well, doesn't have to be, but for me it was predominantly summer. Anyway, so this is the card that I have made already, and you will have gathered probably this. I'm in a bit of a monochrome phase at the moment. So I gave myself a bit of a challenge to do a shades of pinky sort of colours monochrome. So this is, let's see, it's this lot. So it's my tiny little Watermelon Wonder. That's the only Watermelon Wonder ink that I have got. Because I signed up last year and because I was on a budget, aren't we all, I didn't get any of the 2015-17 ink pads. This came in one of the kits, otherwise I wouldn't have it. The only other one I've got, which is Mint Macaron, which I love, I got when I was on stage in November. So that was a freebie. So those are the only two that I've got. So anyway, we've got Watermelon Wonder, Calypso Coral, Flirty Flamingo, Blushing Bride, Pirouette, Pink Pirouette, and that goes out. So this is the Watermelon Wonder, and then it goes out. So, never wishing to repeat myself, this time I'm actually going to use Watermelon Wonder, but only as a highlight. This time I'm using, oh yes, and I use Basic Grey for the glasses. So I'm still using Basic Grey, but I'm going to use So Saffron, Daffodil Delight, and Crushed Curry. Watermelon Wonder as a highlight, and a little bit of the Pear Pizzazz, which I'll be using the marker for. If you don't have the marker pens and you do have the inks, remember, if you want to pick up colour, you can use one of the blender pens, and those come in a pack of 3 for £9. So quite a good way of getting marker pens without buying marker pens, if you see what I mean. But having said that, the marker pens use the same ink as the ink pads. So once you've got your marker pens and your ink pads, get your refills, and then you can just keep topping up. So that's useful to know, and refilling these is really easy. Just take the fat nib out and put a couple of drops of ink in. So, okay, let's get started. Enough waffle and all that. So I am going to use Crushed Curry background. This was Pink Pirouette. In fact, this was Pink Pirouette and Flirty Flamingo. So this is going to be slightly the other way around. So I'm having the darker colour at the back, Crushed Curry, and then So Saffron as the matte. Then I've got, for stamping, a matte slightly smaller. All the measurements will be on the associated blog post. And then I've got a piece the same size as the So Saffron for the inside. So let's get started. Don't need those bits, don't need that bit. Do need the stamps, do need the Basic Grey. And a block. And this time I'm actually going to do a sort of milkshakey sort of things. So I'm using the tall glass and the inside for that. Then we're going to put some cream on top. We're going to put a straw in, and we're going to have a cherry on top. It's going to be a maraschino cherry. So yeah, those are, if you, oh, I've just put them slightly off camera, but that's probably the best place for them, to be honest. Right, let me line this up on the grid paper. How big are we going to be? We're going to be 1, 2, 1, 2. Right, so we're going to be at about that point. That should be about central. Yep, that's about central, because I want this one to be in the centre. Now, because this is a firm fabric pad, can you see that? Yes, just. This is going to be a twist. Actually, I'm going to put it over here. This is going to be a twist, tap, 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 so that we know it's properly inked. And then I'm going to leave a little bit of gap between them, because I did try this on my grid paper before I started, and I'd forgotten to allow the fact that the cream is actually quite, or the froth is quite a bit bigger than the glass. So I do need to leave a space for it. Right, bring in the froth. In fact, I'll put that on the baby block. So this is one of those, ooh, oh, that possibly wasn't the best place to put it, actually. I'm going to move that because I can't see through the, that's better. I couldn't see through the block from where I am, where the top of the glass was. And it's kind of handy to know where the top of your glass is, so that you can, because what I tend to do with these is rock them onto the top of the glass. That way, certainly from here, it's easier if you're seeing it from directly above. You can see where the top of the glass is. But with the best will in the world, without sticking my head in the way, I wouldn't be able to do that. Right, I'm actually going to put, there's one, the straws, certainly the short straw, if you'll pardon the pun, has an open end, so you can, and the froth has a gap, so you can actually line it up to go into the gap. And if you, again, I'm doing a bit of a rocking motion, because if you get it lined up so that the bottom of the straw is lined up with the froth, then if you don't get it lined up quite right, one of the dark bits of the straw actually overlaps where the froth is. So I hope that made sense. Right, and then just the cherry on top. And the only thing to make sure you do with the cherry is to try and avoid what I've just done twice. Let's put it over there a bit, that's better, is to try not to have froth coming into your cherry. So that's the cherry. Now let's get this one back. Don't need that anymore, so we'll get rid of that. Now, if I start with the lightest colour, I can actually cheat a bit and not worry too much about colouring, about cleaning the stamp in between. So this is the So Saffron, and again, I'm doing a bit of a rocking motion because it's easier for me to line up from where I am by doing that, rather than being able to put my head over the top. So that's the So Saffron, and I'm putting the slightly lighter colours at the side, and then move into the darker colours. And as I say, because I'm going from light to dark, I can cheat a bit and not re-ink, or indeed clean. I have just re-inked my crushed curry, so this may be fairly juicy. The trouble is, when you re-ink it, you need to make sure that you then ink up properly, because otherwise you can end up with bubbles everywhere. There we go. So that's those. Let's get rid of that. Then we just have to bring in our Watermelon Wonder and pick up our little cherry, which does have an upside and a downside, so you do just need to bear that in mind. And as I say, this is a maraschino cherry. If you want a proper cherry, then I would say you want real red or cherry cobbler. But I always think that maraschino cherries have a little bit of pink in them, and I think the Watermelon Wonder is perfect for that. So that's that. Don't need that one, don't need that one. Let's pop that on. And then for the straw, I'm just using the fat end of the Pear Pizzazz. Now, because this is archival ink, if you did it in black, you could actually just, in fact, no, why not? Because it's all going to be the the same. I'm just going to, with the archival, you can just go straight through because it won't smudge, which is wonderful. So that's our straw. And then previously I did the Friends Don't Let Friends Whine Alone. This time I'm going to do You're So Sweet. So let's bring that out, get that off there, and probably should really use the G block for this, but hey, I'm going to use the Watermelon Wonder again, purely because it's the darkest of the colours that I've used. And I'm just popping it up in the top left-hand corner there. So that's that. And then on the inside, I think we will have, let's see, I think we'll just have a little cherry. So let's bring back in the basic grey again. And then the piece for the inside, which of course I've buried under everything else. Ooh, there we go. Piece for the inside. Let's just have 1, 2, 3 cherries across the bottom. And that again, let's get rid of that because there's nothing quite like grey ink and a white jumper. 1, 2, 3. Actually, the first one wasn't terribly good, so let's redo that. That's better. Right. Okay. Don't need that, don't need that. So, let's bring in our pieces. Okay, so I've scored there, and remember that you fold towards the mounting because that's how the fibres have been bent. Let's pop this on the inside with a bit of snail. Yeah, that's okay. So snail for that, snail for this. And I need it top and bottom really. And a few dimensionals. Just to pop it up a wee, oops, it helps if you actually pick one up, doesn't it? And then we will be done. And I have to say, I think these are just fun little cards. And now that we're beginning to get a bit of half decent weather, I think we need to embrace spring. So there we go. I really like those. I hope you do too. I know it's me being terribly immodest, but I think they're just fun. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. If you need the stamp set, there'll be links on my blog post, which is linked below. So you can hop over to my online store from there. There's a link to my online store below as well, but there will be actual links to the specific items on my blog post. If you've enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. That will be my face. If it's not there yet, it will be coming. And if you want to leave any comments, please do. I always reply to comments. So either here or on my blog. If you want to sign up for my newsletter, hop over to my blog. There's a subscription form at the very bottom of my blog. So on every post, you can find that. And if you're in the UK or Europe and you let me have your date of birth, or not your birth date, so the day and the month, I will send you a birthday card just as a bit of fun. So I hope to see you again soon. So if you've enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe. See you again soon. Bye.